Imagine you wake up one morning and you see a message from one of your exes and she is complimenting you and she's like, hey, you don't age, do you? I mean, imagine that. And you spend the rest of the day wondering why they want to talk to you right now. And the other morning, you wake up and there is a like on one of your posts from your ex, the other ex. And you are wondering what is the universe doing and why are all your exes just popping up in your life? Now, more on that a bit later, but let's talk about magnetism. And I want you to understand how magnetism works so that you're able to understand at a subconscious level how you can manifest magnetism and you can make people attracted to you, because that's exactly what I do in my high value love identity program. And I have coached more than 700 plus people and I have lost the count, and all of them have been able to manifest love into their reality in some shape or form. So let me break it down. What is the core cause of why people reject you and how you can just tap into magnetism and attract whoever you truly desire. Now, I am not promoting to manifest your ex, because let me tell you something very important. Spoiler alert, I do not want to interact with any of my exes. I do not want to manifest them back. And there is a very good reason for that, and more on that a bit later. But let's start with, how does magnetism even work? Now, for that, I'm going to take you down my own story. You see, more than half of my life, I spent chasing people, trying to attract my partner, trying to make them fall in love with me, and that shit never worked out for me. To be honest, that never worked out for me, because if you would have observed me at a conscious level, I was pretty confident about who I am, what I bring to the table. However, when I was alone, my subconscious fears kicked in, that fear of rejection. Now, when we're talking about fear of rejection or neglect, I want you to understand something very important. The core of magnetism is your relationship with yourself, how you feel about yourself. And here is something I want you to understand about your relationship with yourself. It is not based upon what you think of yourself. It's based upon how you were conditioned between the ages of 1 to 9 about how to feel about yourself. And that is highly based upon how your parents treated you. So your father wound and your mother wound decide the sort of relationship you have with yourself. Now, in my childhood, I had a massive father wound. And because of that, what actually happened is I had that fear of rejection and neglect. And I carried that fear into my adult life relationship. Now, here's something that I understood about how our fears manifest, and it completely blew my mind once I became an instant healing hypnotherapist. You see, how you feel about yourself decides the sort of belief that you have. And any kind of emotion that is backing up a negative belief can become fear, such as fear of rejection in itself is like a belief that is backed by intense emotion. And once you have a negative belief that is backed by emotions and you act upon it, now I want you to understand these three aspects, because this will tell you the formula for magnetism, and that is very important. Emotions that create a particular belief, and then you use that belief to operate from by taking actions on that belief. Once you combine emotion, information that is belief or fear, and actions, things manifest into your reality. Because once I started operating from those fear, I felt rejected, neglected in all my relationships. It's only once I became an instant healing hypnotherapist that I understood how to break this formula and make it work for me. Now, this is very important, guys. You see, the first thing is you have to change your emotions about yourself. So that means you have to heal your father wound and your mother wound. Once you heal that, it will change your belief about who you are. And once you change that belief and you feel all that self-love, self-confidence, and that is backed by emotions, and then you take actions. Actions is very important. Once you take inspired actions, you start adding value to yourself. You become very high value. And that is one of the biggest reasons. Once you become high value, people will just naturally gravitate towards you. That is how magnetism works. Now, here is something I want you to understand. To remove the negative emotions you have with regards to yourself, you need to heal your father wound, your mother wound, so that will shape up your emotions about yourself. And that will give rise to the belief about yourself. And once you have that particular belief, you need to take actions. Now, in my program, the sort of healing modality that I use is instant healing hypnosis. So that means we get inside your subconscious mind, we remove a father wound or a mother wound. And once we do that, your subconscious mind will accept the new emotional state, the new belief system. But in order to sustain or retain that particular emotional state, your subconscious mind will ask you to take certain actions, and it reveals that in hypnosis. Now, once your subconscious mind reveals those lessons, you are going to understand something very profound about your subconscious mind. It's asking you to take these actions so that it can retain this emotional state and manifest your desired love in your external reality. That works. So, once I healed my father wound and my mother wound, and I was on my way taking inspired actions that my subconscious mind revealed to me, not only did I observe that people were just attracted to me, my exes keep showing up again and again in my life. Because here's something about your ex. They are subconsciously connected to you. They are vibrationally connected to you. So the more value you add to yourself, they would feel the urge to connect with you because you're going high in demand. And the more you have high value, the more you are in demand. So that means if you can just keep building yourself up by healing, just by healing, you can keep adding value to yourself. And how you add value is, you add value from three aspects. And this is what I cover in my high value love identity program. You add psychological value, you add emotional value, and you add physical value. If you cover these three aspects, and if you observe, these three aspects are connected to the formula that we were talking about. That is emotions, beliefs, and actions. So that means if you can emotionally upgrade yourself, if you can psychologically upgrade yourself, and if you can physically upgrade yourself, you become an instant magnet for anyone. And that's something a lot of my clients have also observed in their reality. But in order for magnetism to work, all the three aspects that I have covered in this video need to work together. And if you keep adding more value to yourself, you suddenly become a very high value person and you become a magnet for love and your desired relationship. Now, about my exes, let's cover that part up. My subconscious mind revealed the lessons to me, and according to those lessons, these exes do not fit into my life. I'm not supposed to be running after them. I'm not supposed to be welcoming them into my reality because they do not fit my new version of reality. Now, the reason why I often tell people not to try and manifest your ex is because once you heal, you would become a magnet to your ex. However, if someone comes to me and be like in free mini therapy session that I want to enroll into your high value love identity program because I want to manifest my ex, I downright refuse them, because your reason for healing should originate from your own desire to improve your life. But if your reason for healing is your ex, that means your healing is quite conditional. You would just collapse if your ex didn't show up in the time frame that you are expecting them to show up. However, what I want you to understand is the more you practice your lessons, your exes can show up in your life. They can show up, but I want you to understand something very important over here. If your ex, they haven't healed, they haven't evolved, that means they are going to follow the pattern of their subconscious mind again and again. That's one of the biggest reasons I do not accept my exes back into my life, because I know they haven't healed, they haven't evolved. Their pattern will once again repeat, and I have already manifested them back in my days, and I have observed that they followed the same pattern again. The relationship had the same ending as before, even though I wasn't hurt at all. But they did repeat their old pattern because they haven't healed. So do not focus on manifesting your ex. However, I want you to understand the more you can build up your self-love, your self-confidence, and feel worthy about yourself and operate from that particular belief and that emotion, trust me, whoever you truly desire will start showing up in your life. And the more you are valuable to someone's subconscious mind, they will chase you. They will fight for you because this is how your subconscious mind works. Now, I want you to understand something very important. If you are going through a heartbreak and you haven't healed from that, guess what? Your emotional state is being jeopardized. And as a result of that, you're operating from fear. And once you observe that your emotional state is jeopardized, you have a negative belief or a fear, and you're taking actions based upon that fear or belief, you will keep attracting the same kind of experiences into your reality. So if you want to move on from your past heartbreak, I would highly recommend to try my free instant heartbreak healing mastery course. Now, in this course, I give you a glimpse into how your subconscious mind works, how your subconscious mind can heal instantly. And there is a hypnosis within this particular course that will help you heal your heartbreak or any kind of emotional state. So I want you to go and check it out. Take this free course and take the most out of it, and you will observe how instant healing works. And you will observe how your reality can shift instantly if you understand how your subconscious mind works. And once you're done with that course, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel and leave a lovely comment to show some love. And I hope that you understand now how you can become a magnet for love. I'll see you guys in the next video. Up until then, stay happy, stay blessed, and keep manifesting. Bye-bye.